You're at dinner with friends and check your phone to see what else is happening. You're on vacation but scroll Instagram to see where everyone else went. You choose a movie on Netflix, start watching it, then wonder if you should have picked something else. You can't be fully present anywhere because your brain is constantly scanning for better options. You're physically here but mentally everywhere. And that split attention is why nothing feels satisfying anymore. This happens every single day in ways you don't even notice. You say yes to plans you don't want because declining feels like missing out. You buy things you don't need because everyone else has them. You switch tasks constantly because whatever you're not doing seems more important. You've turned your entire life into a comparison game where you're always losing. Not because your life is bad, but because you're measuring it against everyone else's highlight reel while living in your behind-the-scenes footage. Your brain convinced you that somewhere else, someone is having a better time. And that thought is poisoning every moment you actually have. This is called fear of missing out, or FOMO. Research shows over 70% of people check social media within minutes of waking specifically to see what they missed while sleeping. Your brain evolved to care about social status and group belonging. Your ancestors who stayed aware of tribal activities survived. Being left out meant danger. So your mind developed an alert system that constantly monitors what others are doing. Your neurons treat social exclusion as a threat to survival. Modern technology weaponized this ancient fear. Your brain thinks staying connected keeps you safe, but it's actually preventing you from experiencing anything fully. Here's how this destroys your life in real time. You're invited to 2 events on the same night. You pick one. The entire time you're there, your brain is running simulations of the other event. What are they doing? Is it better? Are you missing the funnier conversations? The better stories. You're not enjoying where you are. You're mourning where you aren't. So you leave early to catch the end of the other event. Now, you've been to 2 places and experienced neither. You've just confirmed to your brain that committing to one choice means losing the other. Next time, the anxiety is worse. Or you finally get a weekend off. You could rest, read, do nothing, but your brain floods you with images of what you could be doing instead. Everyone else is hiking, traveling, having adventures, posting proof. You feel guilty for resting, anxious about wasting time, so you frantically plan activities you want to do just to avoid the feeling of missing out. You exhaust yourself trying to keep up with an imaginary competition. The weekend ends, and you're more tired than when it started. You never actually wanted those activities. You wanted to not feel like you were missing them. And here's what nobody tells you about this. Your brain is comparing your real life to everyone else's edited highlights and treating the comparison as accurate data. The fear doesn't just ruin single moments. It creates a cascade where you can't commit to anything. You accept every invitation because declining feels like loss. So you overbook yourself, which means you're always late, always distracted, always half present. Your relationships suffer because you're never fully there, which makes you feel more disconnected, which makes you check social media more to feel included, which shows you more things you're missing, which increases the fear. You're trapped in a loop where trying to avoid missing out guarantees you miss out on the depth of every single experience you actually have. This isn't your imagination. The research backs this up. Most people think this is about wanting to do everything or having diverse interests, so they try to fit more in or manage time better. But that's like trying to drink from a fire hose by opening your mouth wider. The real issue is in time management. It's that your brain is using other people's choices as evidence that your choices are wrong. You're not actually missing out. You're just seeing proof that different choices exist and interpreting that as evidence you chose incorrectly. Every path you take looks better because you're not experiencing the mundane reality of walking it. This bias survives because being included in groups kept your ancestors alive and modern media makes exclusion visible 24/7. Plus, admitting you have enough feels like settling for less. And if you stopped monitoring what everyone else is doing, you'd have to trust that your own choices are valid without external validation. You'd have to be okay with other people having experiences you'll never have. Your brain would rather exhaust you with constant comparison than let you rest in the life you're actually living. This is the part that changes everything. You're not missing out on better experiences. You're missing out on the experience you're in because you're busy imagining better ones. That dinner with friends could be amazing if you were actually there. That movie could be great if you stopped wondering about the other options. That quiet weekend could be restful if you weren't comparing it to strangers' adventures. The problem isn't what you're doing, it's that you're not fully doing it. Your attention is split between what you have and what you don't. And split attention means you experience neither. You're choosing anxiety about imaginary experiences over presence in real ones. Once you see FOMO as choosing to leave your own life, everything shifts. Nobody is forcing you to check what everyone else is doing. You're doing that to yourself. Every time you compare your Monday to someone's vacation photos, you're making a choice. Every time you wonder if you should be somewhere else, you're abandoning where you are. The other events aren't better. They're just not happening to you. Which means you can't evaluate them honestly. You're comparing your reality to fantasy, and fantasy always wins that fight until you realize you're the one making the comparison. So the next time you read somewhere good and your hand reaches for your phone to see what else is happening, you'll know what's really happening. Your brain is scanning for better options and preparing to make you regret your current one. But now you can catch it. You can notice the pull to compare. You can choose to be where you are instead of everywhere else. That's the difference. You're not trying to eliminate FOMO completely. You're just recognizing when it's making you abandon your actual life for an imagined better one. You started this video constantly checking what you're missing. Now you know every moment you spend worrying about missing out is a moment you miss being present. That's not a small shift. That's reclaiming your attention from an endless comparison game. Understanding this bias is just the beginning. There's another one that's even more powerful, and most people never see it coming. Watch this next video to learn the bias that's even more dangerous than this one.